What actually is rewilding? So a lot of native animals in Britain have gone extinct. So you might not realise that bears actually used to be a wild animal in Britain. Wolves, lynxes. Beavers have been reintroduced to the country. So the challenge then is we get the students to choose what candidate they want to put forward for rewilding and persuade the public. So it's a real thing going on at the moment. We've got rewilding projects going on. We've got organisations trying to persuade the public that they should rewild these animals. So students are actually taking a real role in what is going on in the country at the moment. So at CARE we split up into 2 stages. So it's introduced at school. They set the challenge. And then you might be able to get a scientist in, either in the classroom or via Zoom, to talk about rewilding. If you can't get a scientist, then there's plenty of videos, and we've got those in the guides that you can use where there is a scientist explaining it. The second part of CARE then is at home. So the family get these resources, which you can put up onto your VLE or on Google Slides, however you think students can access it, or print them out. And they read pleas from the animals. So the animals are saying, you need to vote for me, this is why, this is what I can do for your country. And you want the students then with their families to discuss the pros and cons of rewilding each one. And then they do their vote. So you can do a Google vote for their favourite. And then when they get back to school, you can discuss what the votes show. Teach about feeding relationships, and then we're going to do no one, which is applying feeding relationships. So it's a real life thing that happened in America, in Yellowstone National Park. They had no wolves at all. People hunted them. They had a big problem because the number of elk and deer increased because they had no predators, and they ate all the plants. And so the biodiversity of the area went right down because there were no wolves. So here's the food web before the wolves were introduced. And then what the students do is they told the wolves what the wolves eat, they put the wolves in, and then they predict what's going to happen. And then the students are going to have a your turn activity where they're going to solve the problem, going back to rewilding, independently. So they can do this at home for homework. So we've given them a woodland food web, and then they're going to put each of those animals into the food web and see what is going to happen. So they're actually having a look at the effect of rewilding on other organisms in that ecosystem. And we include an assessment criteria. So you can do peer assessment, teacher assessment, however you want to do it. And this is where we're going to be teaching a new skill and the different stages that you could use. And it's all about using evidence. And then they get some evidence themselves, some data, and they use those higher order thinking skills then to look at the data, analyse the data. This is another place you could get a scientist in. If you've got a scientist that can come into the classroom, they can help students analyse the data. They can talk about how they use data in their job as well to show the importance of that skill. And then the final stage in the do, the groups then have their animal, they plan their presentation, and they present it to the class. And then another role the scientists can take, this can be done over Zoom as well, they can actually assess, watch the presentations. So the students are practising their communication skills as well.